Welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mama Pop Quilt Shop, and we're very happy to see you here today. Today, we're working on a weekend project bag, or a project bag. I always say weekend, but whatever, it's my weekend. I'll be making a few of them. So this one was actually gifted to me when I started my Tuesday cross-stitch session. We do a live stream at Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern via the Mama Pop Quilt Shop, and it was gifted to me by my friend Jo Marie, so it has inspired me to make a few for other projects and gifts for other people. So when I was really thinking about this, I thought, well, let's just see how she has done hers, and we'll go from there, because it's not like a rocket science or anything like that, right? So it's a quilted back and front with some cross hatching in between. It looks like to be about 1 inch. And then we have about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of a top, and 1 inch to 1.5 inches of the bottom with a zipper in between. We've got this lovely plastic, which you can buy by the meter from your fabric store, or one of our fans of the channel said she bought the clear shower curtain and uses that. So whatever works for you, just make sure you're using, maybe if it's a bit of a thicker plastic, make sure you're using a tougher needle through your machine, because that's a lot of stuff to go through. So a very simple project, very fun to do. You could really be able to practice your free motion quilting on this part, or even just your, like the cross hatching, or checkerboard, or waves, or whatever it is that makes you, that you want to quilt it together. That's completely up to you. So we're going to make a couple of different sizes I've got going on here. So what I have here first is, what you're going to need, of course, is the plastic to be able to do the clear part of the project bag. You're going to need a chunk of fabric for your back. You're going to need batting for the center, and you're going to need a top fabric or another fabric that you want either on the inside or the outside. It's completely up to you. I chose a nice light color, hoping that it would kind of brighten the stuff on the inside and it wouldn't be so dark, no matter what I put in there, whether it be cross-stitching or crocheting or knitting or Barbie dolls with clothes or something like that. It'd be a great project, even for Lego, whatever. I mean, there's probably 1,001 ideas you can think of for doing these little project bags to carry on and take with you, sort of thing. Right? So, and then you'll need 2 strips of fabric. I chose mine to be 3 inches wide, the length of the kind of the backing that I was using here. And then I put that on the fold, and that's going to be the either side of our zippers, okay, our zipper part here. Okay, just like that. And then, of course, we got binding to match. So that's really not a lot of bits and bobs, but I'm sure you have it. And if not, maybe it inspires you to go and grab a few things and be able to make some. Of course, obviously, you need a zipper. If I didn't say that, I'm sorry. Okay, so what you want to do is be able to quilt this up any way you like it, whether it be waves, cross-hatching, free motion. And then you want to be able to put your zipper onto your fabric onto your zipper. I prefer to have a zipper that's bigger than, and also plastic, so I can be able to cut it with my scissors. Don't try and use a metal one for this sort of project. And then you want to be able to have the ability to sew over the plastic without having to worry about metal or anything like that. So if you have to scoot down your fabric a little bit beyond, then go ahead and do so. You're not going to use that anyways, right? So be able to utilize the zipper as much as possible. So these zippers, I bought a few of them to do some cushions at the beginning before the whole March, April stuff went on. So that didn't pan out, so I have like 7 or 8 of these zippers to work with. So I thought this would be a fantastic idea to be able to incorporate them into project bags. So I will show you how to do that with a zipper foot right here, right now. I know you know how to quilt things together. Here is a sample that I have done with another bit of fabric. It is just tan and some of my Canadian sesquicentennial fabric from 2017, which it was Canada's 150th birthday that year. And it was a little wonky, so it missed the print of the dark red here. So I thought I didn't want to throw it away. I wanted to be able to use it for something, and I love it that it's going to be a new project bag for me. So once you get that quilted up, okay, then you want to be able to do your fabric with your zipper. So I'm going to show you here how to do that. First, you're going to switch to your zipper foot. Oh, don't tell me I lost it already. Please don't tell me I just lost my zipper foot. Oh boy. I feel like it's just kind of one of those days. Oh, there it is. One of those days around here. Okay, so here's your little zipper foot, and you just put that in there, and then you should have some buttons on your machine that direct it, whether it be the center, left, or right. Depending on how you're going to be pinning this, that's how you want it closest to the zipper as possible. So we're going to pop a few pins in here. Like I said, I'm coming down from where the end was, where that little thick plastic. I don't want to be sewing over that. I don't want to hurt my machine. I certainly don't want to sew over it with the metal one. Now the fold is up against where the zipper is going to be opening and closing. The raw edges are what either is going to be tucked up into the top of the bag or the project bag, or is going to be attached to the plastic. So that's what you're going to be expecting there. Okay, so put the fold up against the zipper. Okay, I have some of this beautiful purple ombre fabric that had a chunk left over from another project, and I'm so happy to be able to make myself a project bag out of it. So right now my needle is in the center of my zipper foot, and I want it to go all the way over to the left. So I'm going to hit number 4, which is 4 on my machine, and you can see how it's shifted. It's all the way over on this side. So I'm going to place my foot down right next to where I'm just riding the side of the fabric with the side of the zipper foot, because I want it to be stitched down, but not too close to the zipper where it's actually going to get hung up on the zipper as I try to open and close it. Okay. Now, when you go to do your quilting, I suggest a walking foot. That would be my definitely the one I would suggest for you to be using. Good gravy! I don't know where anything is here. Move things away. To be able to make that happen, as well as if you were, when you sew the plastic to the fabric, sometimes the zipper foot, not the zipper foot, the walking foot can help in that, as well as moving the plastic along with the fabric. Okay. Oop, that's it. Poke it through the fabric. It's really stained to the pin cushion. Okay. So now we can close it, and so we can be able to line up the second piece, whether we want it to be the light is down on this side, because that's where this one is here, and it's dark up here. We want to do it that way. We want to do it a different way. I kind of like it that it looks the same, like it's the transition down the piece. And we want to line it up. We want to make sure it's right next to the zipper like we did on the first side. And then we're going to sew all the way down. Okay, so once you have this all quilted and you've got your zipper set done, I'm just going to move that off to the side here, because that's pretty much what we got going on right here. Okay, so here's my zipper set done, and my backing is all quilted, and I've trimmed it up to a size that I'm comfortable with. So when you're like saying, well, I don't know what size I want to make it, well, you do how big you want, and then when you trim it up to be nice and square, and you lay your pieces on the top here, you want to lay those 2 raw edges at the top there, and then you take a measurement. And I went in about a 1/2 inch from this edge here towards the zipper all the way to here, and I'm like, okay, that's 12 inches. So I needed to be cut my plastic at 12 inches by 18. From right here is 18. So I'm like, okay, so we'll cut that 12 by 8, or 12 by 18, sorry, 12 by 18. And then I'm going to take this fabric here that I have with my zipper combination, and I'm going to lay it across the top. It is clearly wider than my base fabric, which is completely fine. And I'm going to pin it. I'm going to pin it so it stays, and I can sew it, the 2 raw edges, well, not necessarily, the plastic's not necessarily a raw edge, but the 2 edges together, okay, so that when I go to flip it, I can do another stay stitch or a top stitch right on top to make it look nice, okay. All right, so let's do that. Like I said, you might find it easier with your walking foot. I'm going to pop my regular foot back on and move it to my regular position, which is right in the center. Oop, there we go. Don't forget to do that. And if anything, I'm going to put the plastic on the bottom so the feed dogs helps the plastic move along, okay? So if you can arrange it that way, when you're sewing, try to put the plastic on the bottom. You're going to find things go a little bit smoother. Okay, and once you get this part down, and then sewing on top, this is a very quick and easy project, great project to do with a family member who's just getting into sewing or is curious about sewing or wants to try how to quilt. Well, you have to quilt the back part, so, you know, give it a shot. Give it a shot. Help guide them. That's our goal. Okay. So once that's there, we're going to flip that, and then we're going to sew right on top of that. Okay. So right on top of this line right here, right next to the plastic. Give that a little finger press. Put it back underneath the machine, whichever way makes you feel comfortable. You can use some complementary thread, you can use some contrasting thread, you could use whatever you like. I literally just have whatever's in the machine because it doesn't matter to me. And even if I were to give one of these away, I'm sure they'd appreciate the scrappy colorfulness. And you're just really securing that to the plastic at this point in time, okay? And giving it that finishing touch. So once you get it to this point here, we're gonna close our zipper just so we can get things lined up with some pins. Okay. And like I said, I bought this plastic about $8 a meter at Fabricland, and I think I can probably get anywhere from probably about 6 to 8 projects out of the $8 of plastic. And I think that, to me, is a steal deal. I think that is fantastic, good bang for the buck, and I'd be pleased with that if I got 8 top parts out of it for $8. Okay, so we're just going to pop a few pins around, stabilizing it. And then what we want to do from here, because we pretty much have the bag together, we just needed to sew all the way around. So, okay, we're happy with the way that sits there. We'll put another stabilized one in here for the pin to keep it going. And then what we want to do is add our binding. So this is where it's up to you. You can stitch to the back and flip to the front and stitch down, machine stitch. Or you can stitch on the front, flip to the back, and hand stitch. Well, that's what I like. That's what Jo Marie did. I really like the look of it. And to me, it's very pleasing to the eye. So I prefer the flipping from the front to the back and giving a hand stitch. It's not a big project. We can get it done in probably 15 minutes or so on and so forth. And it just, you know, you can use a weird thread. You do some weird stitches in the bag. You can do whatever you like. It's all up to you. So, and then when it comes to this part, you're just going to sew all the way around, okay? And then when you get to the points, I'm going to show the big camera here, the GoPro. Once you get to the corners, you want to stop about 1/4 inch away, okay? So you want to stop about there, and then you're going to cut the thread or break the thread, and then once you're going to twist it, you're going to fold it up so you get this little triangle piece, and then lay it down flat once you get the fold up here, and then just continue on to the next side. And by the time you get all that done, it looks something like this, okay? And then you're going to come to the end part. Well, there's many ways to end this. You could end it like you do a quilt, where you can cross it over each other, or you can just tuck it in, or what have you, or fold this down and move that there. It's your project bag. You do whatever you like with it. And then you just go and obviously you can open it and close it. This one I did with some leftover of a panel piece that I had. I was making some masks with. That was left over of it. And of course I had some leftover fabric from one of our member projects. So, and then I'm just going to fold it and then hand stitch it. Just hand stitch it down all the way. Super cute. And that's it. That's literally a project bag. It's not going to take you long to do. And you could, like I said, use it for cross stitch, for needle point, for keeping your needles tidy, for if you're doing a project on the road with hexagons or English paper piecing or anything else like that. Like, just think of the possibilities you can do with it. Maybe fabric you really want to treasure, like it's you want to make a quilt in the end, like after a few years or 10 or 15 years or something. This could be the bag it all goes in, the chunk of fabric, it goes in. You know, think of all the uses you could do with something like this. Not necessarily just in the craft room, but what about in the kitchen or the bathroom or travel kits? What about a first aid kit? What about, you know, a camping kit? What about, like, it's 100,000 other ideas I'm sure you can think of with this sort of project. So thank you everybody for watching, liking, and subscribing. And don't forget to join us on the weekend where we're going to continue working on the crooked courthouse steps from the Bonnie Hunter. It's a free pattern. We'll be able to share the link with you if you come and join us at 1 p.m. Eastern Saturday. And well, happy to have you there, and come chat with us and share your passion of whatever project you got going on. We're happy to see you there, okay? We'll see you soon, and thank you. Big hugs, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click that notification button. Take care. Enjoy the day.